marketers, we all know that creative is the most important thing to determining your success on the Facebook ads platform. But exactly how important is your ad primary text copy? Technically, it is a part of the ad. However, how impactful really is it what's going on in this part of the ad versus this part of the ad? This video is going to dive into the 5 types of Facebook ads copy that you should be running on your Facebook ads. And it's also going to answer the question, how much does all of this really matter? And to be honest, I think my answer will actually surprise you. I'm also going to show you how to best test all of this copy, because that's going to be very important as well. The first type of ad copy that you should be trying is also the easiest. In fact, it requires absolutely no copy rating on your part. How, you might ask? This is the review/testimonial copy. Simply, all that you have to do is take a review or a testimonial from one of your best customers and simply put it into the primary text portion of your ad unit. Now, what I really like about this one is oftentimes our customers are the ones that have the best things to say about us, and they also say it in the best way for performance. It's kind of like the idea that often your best friends have the nicest things to say about you. That's often how it is too when it comes to building a brand. Your customers are often going to be the ones that know exactly what to say to get other people to convert. Now, I would try a few different variations of this, but if you're just starting off, go ahead and just find your favorite review or your favorite testimonial and simply put it with the quotation brackets and sign it with your customer's name. You don't really have to think too much about, oh, should I put verified customer or not? Like, if you want to, you can, but that doesn't tend to have a big performance variable. Now, if you have a lot of budget and you want to try testing out a few different variants of this, you could try multiple testimonials. You could try a really, really big testimonial. You could try a really small testimonial or a really short testimonial. Those can all be really interesting variables. But I'd say if you're just starting off, go ahead and find a nice medium length type of review testimonial, or at least just make sure it's the one that you think is going to be the most impactful, and test that. The second type of ad copy that you should be testing is bullet point type of copy. Now, I often see this type of copy being used with emojis, but I think the reason why this works is because it's just super easy to read. So if you want to introduce your brand or introduce the highlights or the features or benefits of your product in a way that's super succinct, then I would go ahead and use that. Now, my one caveat here is that if you're a brand that delivers heavily on Instagram, you're gonna need to be thinking about how this is gonna show up on the Instagram feed. I often find that this type of copy actually does the best on things like Facebook, Facebook mobile, Facebook desktop, but I've still seen great performance coming out on Instagram, but you are gonna have to really look at the way that this ad unit is showing up on Instagram so that it makes the most sense. The third copy type is going to be super short form, actually. And this is going to be an introduction to the brand or a specific introduction to the product. And I really try to keep these between 1 to 2 sentences long tops. Now, this type of copy tends to do really well on Instagram, as you might imagine, because it shows up on the entire feed caption section, because I think you can only have 2 lines or something there. So if you have a really punchy line about your brand, this is where I often find brands like experimenting with their like branding tagline and their branding messaging. That can be really cool. I also see a number of brands just doing something like meet brand name and then giving like a really small clip about the brand, and that tends to do pretty well for them as well. And sometimes it's going to be diving into more about the product, especially if you have a product that requires just a little bit of explanation. If you can do it in 1 sentence or 2 sentences, then that would definitely be a type of ad copy to try. Now, the fourth type of ad copy I'd recommend you test is also going to be really short form. It's also just going to be a sentence or 2, but it's going to be containing a statistic related to either the problem that you're solving or the type of results that people are seeing from your product. And the reality is, like, as humans, we really do like that statistical knowledge. We really do want to be affirmed that we're making the right decision for ourselves. So we want to see like, oh, more than X% of people got good results from this product. That's something that tends to build social proof for us, and we become a lot more interested in it. So if you have statistics about either the problem you're solving or about the benefits that people are seeing, then that's definitely something that you should try highlighting in your ad copy. The fifth and final one is what I would say the most difficult, but it's also the one that I see that works the most, which is a long form founder story. Now, this is going to feel like a diary entry. This is going to feel like a very long saga, but I have actually seen that utilizing really, really long ad copy, especially in the form of a founder story, people actually tend to read that because they're really interested to see the behind the scenes, to understand why someone built this product. And it really does in many ways serve as a sort of pre-landing page for your customers to learn more about the product, but not just about your product, but also the why behind your product, which is so important. I've really seen personal storytelling be something that really moves the needle for ad creative, talking about personal history, talking about personal experiences, and being more intimate with your user about your problems. That's something that I see that people really respond well to. So if you can have a long form founder story that does that, I often find that that is the ad copy that tends to do it best again and again and again. Now, say you have all 5 of these ad copy types ready to go. How do you test all of that? Well, the first thing that I would do is I would do a quick analysis on all the ad copy that you've already tested. I would take a look at your top performing ads and I would see what type of ad copy you're using. Is there something here that you haven't tested yet that you should prioritize? That's what I would take a look at first. You don't want to throw everything out just because you saw this video. You really do want to build upon your past learnings. So take a look at what's performed well for your account previously and take note of, how long it is, what type of content is actually in it, and what type of message you're actually communicating. Next, I would do a quick analysis on your worst performing ads or what hasn't worked. Is there any similarities there too? And if you have actually done creative tests, what were the results of those? And if you decide, okay, I'm ready to test out all 5 of these new pieces of ad copy, there's a few different ways that you can do it. If you have a few ad units that really, really crush it again and again and again, I would actually go ahead and create a dynamic creative test, and I would put anywhere from 3 to 5 top performing ads. That could be images, it could be videos, and then I would go ahead and add anywhere from 3 to 5 different ad copy types in that dynamic creative testing unit. And I would let that run for a while because in theory, this is going to be already using creative that's already performed well. So you should tend to get pretty good results out of it. But after a week, 2 weeks, you're gonna be able to see, these are actually the type of ad copies that are working alongside of these different creative units. And what you'll be able to do is you'll actually be able to look at the breakdown of the actual copy. If you see that the spend is starting to pull into one specifically and you're not really getting enough spend or traction out of the other type of ad copies, then what I might do is I might take the combination that worked the best. So take the image or take the video and then put it into an ad set and just separate the different ad copies by different ads. In fact, if you have the budget, I would probably just do that in the first place. Now, my POV on ad copy has changed a little bit recently. I would say that if you asked me this question 6 months ago, I'd be like, testing ad copy isn't really that worth it. It's kind of a waste of time. I've been able to get some more marginal efficiency out of these ad copy types, especially the founder story. I really do tend to find that that works really well for priming your users. It's interesting. I actually find that a lot of times the click-through rate is going to be lower. However, because that big ad copy is going to be a little intimidating to people and it's not as aesthetically pleasing, but the people who do read it are extremely qualified and conversion rates can tend to be higher on those ad units. So I do think it's worth to test your copy. However, if you are a new media buyer or you're a new business owner trying this out and running your own ads, I wouldn't go down the rabbit hole of, oh no, I have to test tons of different copy and tons of different creative. Definitely concentrate more on your creative. I would just do one round of copy tests to really see, hey, this is what seems to be working and moving the needle. And then I would focus a lot more just on creative. And if you are using dynamic creative testing to test your creatives, which I know many brands do, then maybe you can try 2 different types of ad copy that are different when you are launching your creative test. That's a totally fine thing to do. And that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know which ad copy test you're going to be running in the comment section below, and I'll chat with you later. Bye.